Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Barakahak Wadash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who ruled and teach well, and peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Ra'aya coming at you with another lesson, and I'll be reading from an article on endoftheamericandream.com titled, "It Literally Never Stops. The Earth is Being Absolutely Pummeled by Disaster After Disaster." And this article was published on August 10th, which was about a week or so ago. So best believe even more things have transpired since then. But, with the things we're about to go into in this article, we can clearly see that Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai is working and beginning to bring these many great calamities onto the face of the earth as judgment for the wickedness you people have been walking in, as well as the great pride, especially in the United States of America. But this is 2nd Esdras in the Apocrypha, chapter 8, verse 50. "For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world," which we're currently in the latter time, the last days, really the last seconds of the last days, "because they have walked in great pride." And when you read in 2 Timothy chapter 3, it said, "In the last days there shall be perilous times, for men shall be lovers of themselves, truce breakers, greedy, killers, disobedient, etc., etc., which we can clearly see with this generation. So many disasters are happening so frequently that it is almost impossible to keep up with them all. Somehow, 2025 has become the year of the flood and the year of the fire simultaneously. 2025 is also the year of the largest earthquake that we have witnessed this decade. The magnitude 8.8 earthquake that recently shook the Pacific Ring of Fire was quickly followed by hundreds of other very large quakes. Overall, there were 494 earthquakes of at least magnitude 5.0 within a recent 30-day period. Many were hoping that things would settle down during the month of August, but over the past few days, there have been many new disasters making headlines all over the globe. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 9. I'm going to start at verse 1. "He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself," which is exactly what the men of the Lord are doing by watching the news and reading the scriptures, and then going out onto the highways and byways to preach this word, as well as putting up video epistles like this, filtering current events through the scriptures to show you that it is biblical prophecy taking place right before your very eyes. "And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the Highest will begin to visit the world which he made, to bring those many great miseries upon you people who in these latter times we're in are walking in great pride and wickedness. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes," which we're going to get it later in Matthew 24, and as it shows in that article, in diverse places, which as that paragraph just said, the largest earthquake seen in a decade just took place, "and uproars of the people in the world," which is also taking place, "then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifesting." Which, if you got your spiritual eyes and ears open, you can clearly see that the end of this current age of the heathens, chiefly of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, is coming to its end. And then the next, age, the eternal age of the children of Israel, the children of Israel being you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, beginning with the elect ruling in the kingdom of heaven, is at hand. For example, unprecedented rainfall caused enormous flash floods to rip through the Wisconsin State Fair. Flash flooding slammed parts of Wisconsin on Saturday evening, forcing revelers at the state fair to flee and left residents trapped inside their homes. Torrential rainfall battered the Badger State, with the National Weather Service issuing a flash flooding warning for Milwaukee, West Allis, and Wauwatosa. Images emerged of floodwaters rising over cars in the state. In one clip, a man is seen stranded on the hood of a car as fast-flowing water passes him. When I say unprecedented rainfall, I am not kidding. Some parts of Milwaukee have actually had over 14 inches of rain so far, and more rain is coming. Milwaukee was hit with 5.74 inches of rain on Saturday, setting a new daily record for the area. The rain has only continued since, with some areas of Milwaukee seeing more than 14 inches of total rainfall as of Saturday morning, according to the Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewage District. The Central Plains and Midwest regions are set to see even more rain and flash floods, according to the National Weather Service. Several thunderstorms, hail, and isolated tornadoes could threaten the region through Sunday night. This sort of thing is happening over and over again in 2025. Why is that? In the old days, 1,000-year storms used to be quite rare, but now they are occurring all the time, because now is the time where the end is manifesting, and Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is visiting the world which he made, and floods are a major part of things that are taking place in the end days. This is Isaiah chapter 28, verse 2. Behold, the Lord hath a mighty and strong one, which, as a tempest of hail and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing, shall cast down to the earth with the hand. So this verse is mentioning hail, storms, and flooding of mighty waters cast down upon the earth. And what did this paragraph just say? The Central Plains and Midwest regions are set to see even more rain and flash floods, according to the National Weather Service. Floods, severe thunderstorms, mighty storms, hail, which is also mentioned hail in Isaiah 28, and isolated tornadoes could threaten the region through Sunday night. Just look at what happened in Chicago in late July. More than 5 inches of rain fell in just 2 hours. The torrential rainfall that pounded parts of Chicago on July 25th was so extreme, it typically occurs only once every 1,000 years, according to the National Weather Service. Midday, July 25th, a corridor of extreme rainfall developed along a stalled atmospheric boundary on the south side of Chicago. As much as 5.61 inches of rain fell in Garfield Ridge in just 2 hours. Extreme rain was also observed in Bedford Park near the border with Clearing, where an unofficial gauge measured 5.98 inches in 3 hours. Conditions have been even worse on the other side of the planet. The amount of rainfall that Yuzhong County, China has been getting has been absolutely insane. At least 10 people have died after the county received up to half of the country's average annual rainfall on August 7th and 8th. Flash floods in Yuzhong County, Gansu Province, China, killed at least 10 people and left 33 missing after up to half of the country's average annual rainfall fell between August 7th and 8th of 2025. President Xi Jinping urged local authorities to carry out full-scale rescue operations. So now that was dealing with the floods and the storms and the hail. Meanwhile, The year of fire just continues to roll on. On Friday, a brand new wildfire suddenly erupted in the Los Angeles area. A fierce wildfire northwest of Los Angeles prompted evacuation orders for thousands of residents on Friday as extreme heat and dry conditions fueled its rapid spread. The blaze, named the Canyon Fire, ignited on Thursday afternoon along the border of Ventura and Los Angeles counties. By Friday evening, it had expanded from 30 acres to nearly 5,400 acres. Authorities believe that they are getting the Canyon Fire under control, but the Gifford Fire has now grown to 114,000 acres. Evacuation orders remain in effect in parts of Central California as the massive Gifford Fire crosses the 110,000 acre threshold. The fire is the largest of the year in California, with more than 114,000 acres scorched, according to fire officials. Nearly 3,000 firefighting personnel are attacking the blaze that's burning primarily in rural areas of Santa Barbara and San Luis Obispo counties. The fire is 21% contained as of Sunday morning. Now that the Gifford Fire has surpassed 100,000 acres, it is considered to be a mega fire. But wait, there's more. Another mega fire over in Arizona that has literally been raging since July 4th. And this article was published on August 10th, which was about a week or so ago, has been so intense that it is literally spawning pyrocumulus clouds. The massive wildfire burning near the Grand Canyon has been so intense at times that it created its own weather. The Dragon Bravo fire, which has scorched more than 130,000 acres in Arizona, north of the Grand Canyon, has become so hot that it spurred pyrocumulus clouds, or fire clouds at points. The fire-driven clouds can form when the heat and smoke from a very large wildfire is released into the atmosphere, according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Now let's go to Isaiah chapter 29, verse 6. Thou shalt be visited of Yahweh of hosts, with thunder and with fire and great noise, with storm and tempest and the flame of devouring fire. Massive forest fires and massive fires so large they're creating their own weather, like the Dragon Bravo fire. Needless to say, the extremely hot and dry conditions in Arizona right now are perfect for this fire. If you can believe it, the high temperatures in Phoenix reached 118 degrees on August 7th. That was the hottest August day in over 120 years of record keeping. At the same time, our planet just continues to get monkey hammered, like a lot of, Becky's out here, by large earthquakes in diverse places. On Sunday, a magnitude 6.1 earthquake caused buildings to collapse in a heavily populated area of Turkey. Turkey has been rocked by a 6.1 magnitude earthquake tonight, Sunday, as rescuers and locals searching collapsed buildings for survivors. Images posted on social media show damaged buildings and scenes of destruction, with people scouring the rubble for signs of anyone trapped. The quake was at a depth of 10 kilometers, 6.21 miles, according to the German Research Center for Geosciences. Turkey's Disaster Management Agency, AFAD, said the quake occurred at around 7:53 p.m. local time in the Balıkesir province, near the country's biggest city, Istanbul. The day before, a magnitude 6.1 earthquake shook the Kuril Islands, which I believe the other week, I did a video on this earthquake, which reached the aftershock reached damn near all across the United States of America. A magnitude 6 earthquake struck the east of the Kuril Islands region of Russia on Saturday, the European Mediterranean Seismological Center said. The quake was at a depth of 10 kilometers, 6.2 miles. And let us not forget the magnitude 5.9 earthquake that just rattled the coastline of Guatemala. A 5.9 magnitude earthquake struck off the coast of Guatemala on Saturday, the United States Geological Survey reported. There were no initial damage or injury reports immediately available. The quake hit about 62 miles from Champerico, Guatemala, according to the USGS map. It was the latest earthquake to strike along the Matagua Fault, which has seen a dozen similar seismic events over the last year. Earthquakes of magnitude 6.0 or greater used to get a lot of attention, but now they just keep happening one after another, and it's just going to continue to be the case and intensify. We are only in the beginning of sorrows of Jacob's trouble. But now I'm going to go to Matthew chapter 24. I'm going to start at verse 7. And this was Yahushai Hamashiach, Yahushai, the Son of the Most High, his true name, whom the world ignorantly refers to as so-called Jesus, telling his disciples back then of the end-time signs to look for, to know that his second coming would be nigh and the kingdom of heaven at hand. But he was really speaking to his disciples today who are in these latter days, and these things are either in the process of taking place or taking place as we speak. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, which we're clearly seeing these racial tensions, come to a boiling point, especially in America. Just look at these situations with these ICE raids. Now, they're starting to shoot at suspected illegal immigrants, and kingdom against kingdom. These major countries gearing up for war. Russia versus the U.S., Israel versus Iran, China and Taiwan, you name it. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes, which you just read about, in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Again, this is just the start. It's going to get a hell of a lot worse and continue to get worse going forward. But let me see. Now I'm going to close it out in 2nd Esdras chapter 15. I'm going to start at verse 5. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction, which is going to include what? Wildfires, floods, thunderstorms, tornadoes, earthquakes, which, back in that article over in China, flash flooding already killed people, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. These people walking in this great pride in these latter days. Therefore, saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually, which, you've got those of the elect, as well as those Israelites in the spirit world right now who are in their right mind, crying out to the Lord, crying out for an end to this wicked rulership of Esau's, because you see what he's doing to the world. And then you have the elect, the men of the Lord that are on the face of the earth right now, sighing and crying for all the abominations that are being done, as it says in Ezekiel 9 verse 4. And therefore saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them, and receive unto me all the right innocent blood from among men. But now I'm going to jump down to, I'll keep reading. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. Speaking of you Israelites, I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. And this is speaking of spiritual Egypt as pursuant to Revelation 11 verse 8, the United States of America. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and stretched out arm. And as I said, I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. You know, the 1/3 of the elect in America that Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is getting ready to protect and save out of all these calamities coming down. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. Mighty storm, hail, floods, devouring fire, cast down upon the earth, and especially on America. The many great miseries that, again, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is going to continue bringing upon you wicked people for the great pride you've been walking in. But that's it with this video. With this video, I hope you sincere Akim and Akwath were edified. Just keep strong. We are almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of the Edomites. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharallah, and until next time.